One Lonely Owl YouTube channel. My name is Terry and I will be your host. Thank you so much for returning if you are a returning viewer. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving us a chance, and we hope to see you again. As I normally do, I apologize at the beginning for any indiscretions that may occur throughout this episode. I've got a sore throat, a runny nose, a cough, excuse me. So I'm going to do my best to keep that out of the video as best I can. I also have a dog, a sick child, and a sick husband at home, so hopefully we will be able to get through this in one take. I'm going to take some time today to review some of the recent knitting I've been doing. There is a bit of an elephant in the room, so we'll talk about that in a second. It's actually a very warm elephant, so I'm going to talk about it as quickly as possible so I can take it off because it's very, very warm. Let's see. Yeah, so if you're new here, I'm from Newfoundland. I use some Newfoundland terminology throughout my podcast just to sort of keep it fun and light. And we talk about knitting and books and whatever else I might be dealing with. I sometimes chat a little bit about my cancer journey, and I will be talking about that a little bit later. Yeah, so not a lot of formalities today, so just going to dive right in. As always, I keep some notes. I have them just down here, so if you see me glancing down at the floor, that's what I'm looking at. And it hopefully just sort of keeps me on track. The first segment is la. La in Newfoundland means look, as in the way I've interpreted it is look at what she's wearing. So today I'm wearing a finished object. I mentioned it on my last episode, episode 23, which I recorded in September. So it's a few months hence. And I talked a little bit about it. I don't actually recall if I gave all the details, but this is the Ashburn Shawl by Melanie Berg. It is knit with Cascade Heritage sock. The teal color is Cascade Heritage sock, as is the orange, and then the variegated is Cascade Heritage Handpaints. I will talk, I'm actually just going to go straight into Yes By. So Yes By is the segment where we talk about something that I've completed, which this is the only thing, so we will be talking about this. And it gives me the opportunity to take it off already, and I am so unbelievably hot. So, as I said, the Ashburn Shawl by Melanie Berg. It is knit with Cascade Heritage. So, Cascade Heritage sock in two different colorways. Colorway 5646 and, pardon me, 5627. I apologize because I don't know which one's which. 5646 and 5627 are the orange and the teal, but I don't know which one's which. And then the hand paint Cascade Heritage 6 hand paints is color number 607, which is the variegated yarn. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see it a little bit better. So this teal color is what really got me. It's going to try to focus on my face. So the teal color, and then we introduce color B, and then the variegated. The variegated does have a pattern as well knit into it, which I really, really like. I kind of wish I had done a solid color now, but I do still love that. And then the orange. I don't really think these are coming out true to color. I apologize because my blind that normally is behind me here is broken. So my husband is trying to fix that. So there's light, a fair bit of sort of brighter light than we're used to in here. But yeah, so the color, probably true to color back here, a little bit better than up at front. Very bright orange, sort of like a pumpkin-y orange, a dark kind of teal color, and then obviously the variegated with the two colors and a bunch of other colors mixed in with it. I had to have this yarn. This is a sample for a yarn store in a town that's near me. The name of the town is Didsbury, and the name of the yarn shop, if you're looking for it, is The Yarn Merchant. So I will link everything that we talk about today in this week's episode in the description box below. The Yarn Merchant is run by a friend of mine. Her and her husband have procured some wonderful yarns, some commercial as well as some hand-dyed and local, and some really neat ideas. They have lots of spinning wool and all kinds of tools for things like that. Scott, who is the other owner, is a artist himself, and he spins wood and other products. I don't know exactly, like maybe stone or not plastic, what is it called? Anyway, he makes crochet hook handles and things. Absolutely beautiful stuff. So if you are in the area, go have a look. And that includes Calgary. If you're in Calgary, go have a look, because it is not that far of a drive, and it's definitely worth it. But yeah, so I will link their website down below and all their socials and whatnot. But this shawl I knit for Lori as a shawl sample. When I saw this yarn, I had to have it. I don't know why, but I just needed it in my life. I needed the bright colors and the way that the variegated picked up the teal and the orange. I just had to have it. So Lori said, why don't you just take it and knit a shawl sample? So that's exactly what I did. So this is going to Lori at the Yarn Merchant, and you will be hanging in their shop for display. So this again was the Ashburn shawl by Melanie Berg, knit with Heritage, Cascade Heritage, and Cascade Heritage paints, hand paints. There you go. So that is Yes By. I don't think I explained what Yes By means. At some point over the next little while, I'm eventually going to stop explaining what each of these terms mean. Yes By in Newfoundland is sort of a catch-all phrase where people say, the context of this would be, where did you get that beautiful shawl? I made it. Yes By. As in, no way. So that's where that comes from. So Yes By, finish that shawl. That's the only thing that I finished in the last couple of months. The next segment is Whatta Ya At. Again, in Newfoundland, we talk in a lot of colloquial language, I suppose. Whatta Ya At is, what are you doing? What have you been up to? So I've taken that to mean, what have you been working on? I have been working on two things. One thing very, very, very sporadically. So I'll briefly show you that. And the other is something that I just started a couple of nights ago that I'm kind of excited about. Not sure how I feel about. We'll see, I guess. I'm not 100% sure about it, but the first one I wanted to show is a Christmas sock. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure these were socks that I started in 2024. Like Christmas 2024, that I had hoped to get finished for Christmas 2024, which I did not and probably won't get done for Christmas 2025. But these, and of course I've lost the ball band. I think they're Flota. They might be West Yorkshire Spinners. To be fair, I have no idea. And I don't have a ball band, because that's just how I roll. So if anybody recognizes this, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. But that is the yarn that I'm looking. It's a self-striping. See that like flash of light? I don't know where that's coming from. Anyway, you get the idea. So the colors naturally stripe with the little black and white in between. Pretty sure it was a Christmas colorway from someone. Like I said, might be West Yorkshire Spinners, might be... You know what? I think this was a gift from my best friend for my birthday in November 2024. I'm pretty sure this was the ball of yarn she gave me. Yes. So it might not even be a Christmas colorway. It might be like West Yorkshire Spinners, like one of the birds colorways or something. Anyway, if I can find it, I'll link it below. If not, your guess is as good as mine. But I do have one of the socks mostly completed. It just needs a heel. And then I have the second one. The toe is done and I'm partway up the foot. And I'll continue on. I don't know, what's that, like a third of the way done? And then I'll throw the heels in those afterward. I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I was on a real sock kick for a while where all I was knitting was socks. And I haven't been doing that this year. I've been paying attention to other things. I've been reading a lot, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, socks have kind of taken a bit of a back seat. I wear slippers all the time now, mostly because of the secondary arthritis that I had developed from the cancer treatment that I was doing. So wool socks and a pair of slippers is just a bit excessive, I think. And you just saw how warm I got with just a shawl on. So another gift from the menopause gods. Yeah, so I love socks. I still want socks. I don't think you can see it, but this whole shelf behind me is all pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's all Christmas sock yarn. Yeah, there might be like some winter sock yarn where it's blue instead of red and green, but it's all behind me is Christmas sock yarn. So I will eventually finish them. And I talked a little bit about the Yarn Merchant. The Yarn Merchant, the shop in Didsbury, plans to do a Saturday Sock Club. We've called it SSK, Saturday Sock Club, where we're just going to invite people to come Saturdays and knit on socks, and if you need help, then there'll be people around to give you a hand. So maybe I'll be attending and or hosting those events, and if so, I'll get lots of sock knitting done, because I'll just be knitting on socks on Saturdays. So that's what one of the projects I have been working on, and again, I think you saw the progress was like a centimeter, which is still progress, so I will take it. The other project that I've been, oh, and I didn't mention this. If you've been here any length of time, you know this is the field bag. I made it myself. I got the pattern from Grainline Studios. The Fringe Field Company was, or the Fringe Field Company was making these bags back, I don't know, in the 2010s or something like that. I missed the boat, really liked the bag, wanted to make one. Bought the pattern, made one myself. So you can't get those anymore, but you can still buy the pattern. I will link that below. The next project that I've been working on was this little guy. So I started this a couple of days ago. I had this yarn that I purchased years ago. I can't even tell you when, but it was years. Hobby had a sale, I think, right after Christmas, so I gobbled up a bunch of it. Not knowing, quite honestly, not knowing what I was going to make with it, and thinking I might make socks, but then not realizing it was 98% acrylic and 2% polyester, so probably not going to be making socks out of it. But it's called Christmas Universe, again, made by Hobby, which, as Canadians, I don't know many people that buy from Hobby. Generally, we have a pretty decent selection of acrylic yarns that are a bit more local, but anyway, thought these were nice, gave them a shot, and now I've decided that I'm going to try to do a Christmas throw. This is, what did I say, what color? Color number 24. I've got a bunch of different colors, but this one is color number 24, so it's a long color, I guess you'd call it a repeat. And so what I've been making is little granny squares. I'm using a size 3.5mm hook, and I'm doing an 11 round granny square. So this one happens to be green and white. This one is, I love this one. This one's like red, green, and white. And it's got, I don't know if you can see, I'll see if I can get up a little bit closer, but let me just show you the other two I've got here. This one is green in the center with red around the corners. This lighting is horrendous, I apologize. Maybe down here, you can see it a little bit better down here. And then this one is like all red with just the green border. Love this one too. Again, not the best But I'm not sure if you can see in there. Let's see if it will focus. There's like red polyester. There's a red polyester glittery thread. I love what it looks like. And I don't really feel it. Like, I don't think it's going to, you know, it's obviously not going to be like the softest, most supple against your skin, because it is still a thread of polyester. Plastic, essentially. But anyway, I quite like it. It doesn't feel as scratchy as I would expect it to. And like I said, I'm really just making it to be a Christmas throw. I don't know how many of these squares I'm going to make. I don't know how big I want the blanket to be. I'm basically just using up the yarn that I had. And I thought a bunch of very different granny squares all made with the same yarn, but obviously wherever you start in the ball comes out with a different pattern. I thought it might be neat to put them all together. Like, look at this one. This one's totally different than the rest. Like, there's no red in this one yet at all, and I'm not even sure if it will get to be red before I finish it. It might. I doubt it. How many rounds are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. This one's going to mostly be all green. So I think it's just going to turn out really neat. Anyway, so that's kind of what I've been up to. Like I said, really simple 11 round granny square done with a 3.5mm hook, which is an E hook. And I'm just going to make a varying amount of, like, a bunch of different squares. And then I'm going to probably crochet them together, see what it comes up with. I've got 6 balls of this particular color. I've got 6 balls of color number 24. And so far I've gotten 4 granny squares out of 1, and I'd say I'm halfway through the ball, so if I'm lucky I'll get 8. So I'll get 48 squares, and they're, I don't know, what, 6 inches? 6 to 8 inches square. Yeah, it'll be a decent size. And again, I don't need it to be massive, just kind of wanted it for a bit of a Christmas decoration. This is living in my Grinch bag, which is made by Shannon. Again, if you're new here, you would not know, but you've heard me talk about her if you have been before. Her name is Shannon. She sews really wonderful bags. I've got a lot of her bags. I absolutely love this one. I love it just because you can throw something real super quick in, and it's just fun and Christmassy, and I love the Grinch, so that is that. Let's see. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about twacking. Twacking in Newfoundland is a term to describe shopping. I'm not actually going to describe shopping, but I'm going to describe a little bit. I mean, I have done a bunch of shopping. It's a couple of weeks before Christmas. I've definitely done my fair share of shopping, but I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I had been gifted. So my birthday is in November, and I got a couple of things in the mail from some friends and acquaintances from home. Sheila, if you're watching, hi. Thank you so much for the wonderful gift. I'll show you guys in a sec. If you are new here, I don't know if I've ever talked about my Christmas tree. I have a Christmas tree that is 16 feet tall. We have a really vaulted ceiling in our living room, so when we bought the house I said we need a bigger Christmas tree. It's been a pain in the butt to get it up every year because my husband and I have been sick for quite some time, and it takes a lot of effort to get that thing up. But every time someone from Newfoundland either comes to visit me or thinks of me or whatever, I usually get some sort of Newfoundland Christmas ornament for my Christmas tree. At my old house, I had 2 smaller Christmas trees. One of them was all Newfoundland decorations only. The other was like my normal Christmas tree. Now, because the Christmas tree is so big, it's just kind of all one big thing. But I'm getting enough Newfoundland Christmas ornaments that I don't need to use all the other ones that aren't Newfoundland. So anyway, I have some of those to share with you. I have a couple of pairs of socks that I wanted to share. First, these I wore yesterday. I wanted to bring these out because in previous years I have done a Christmas box of socks, which again, I don't know if you can see, but right there is on that shelf a box of Christmas socks. I've mentioned it a couple of times now. I am very warm all the time, so this year I'm not wearing my socks on a daily basis like I had in the past. These were the socks that I wore yesterday. I did go out to the city because I had to meet up with my oncology team, and I was wearing boots, so I put on a pair of Christmas socks. So I just wanted to share these with you. These are my original pair of Christmas socks. They're still kicking. These were made with Polka Dot Creek. I was going to say mistletoe, but I don't think that's it. I used to know all of the names of the yarns by heart, but I can't think of it for the life of me now. Anyway, this was the very first pair of Christmas socks I ever made. They are made with Polka Dot Creek, and they do have the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. And I can't remember the name of the colorway. If I can find it and I think about it, I'll link it in the description box below. But I just wanted to share those with you. Not in a twacking sense, but in a Christmas sense. The other pair of socks, this was the pair that I mentioned earlier. So I grew up in a really small town in the middle of Newfoundland. And it was home to me for, I don't know, 17 or 18 years before I moved away. And I'm 46, so I've been away almost 30 years. And I still consider that place to be home. And if you talk to anybody from Newfoundland, you'll hear the same thing. I went to see Alan Doyle recently at a book event in Calgary called Word Fest. And Alan Doyle is absolutely a joy, and he is one of the best ambassadors for Newfoundland and Labrador that I think exists on the planet. He talked about exactly the same thing, that, you know, there's nothing quite like home, and home will always be, for a Newfoundlander, home will always be Newfoundland. So where I'm from, again, small town, and a really tight-knit community. So, tight-knit community. I didn't even catch that. Anyway, in the mail, I suppose, a couple of months ago now, I got this wonderful card from a friend who apparently watches the podcast. Hi, Sheila. And she had sent me this gift that I thought was it was very, very touching. For those of you that do knit, you understand how much effort it takes to knit somebody something. For those of you that knit socks, if you don't knit socks, you maybe wouldn't know. But if you knit socks and you knit them with fingering weight yarn, then you do know how much effort it goes into knitting a sock. So I don't know what pattern Sheila used for these, but I'm going to guess it was like a 72 stitch or 64 stitch. I could look, but I'm not going to. In a fingering weight on maybe a 2.25, 2 to a 2.5 mil needle. So there's a significant amount of stitches in these socks. That's my point. I haven't seen Sheila it's been decades, probably 30 years. And she thought about me she thought enough about me to put effort into knitting a pair of socks with hand-dyed yarn from a Newfoundland company, with, you know, tiny needles, tiny yarn, and to put thousands of stitches. I'm sure it's thousands, because she thought enough about me to make these socks, and then not only to do that, but then to put them in the mail, to write a wonderful card, and there he is. She had found this little owl at a thrift shop, and it made her think of me. I'll see if you can focus on him. So she put him in the little package. I thought he was absolutely wonderful. He's got a little decoration on the back too. He's so cute. So to know that you are in somebody's mind, that somebody is thinking of you, and not just thinking of you, but thinking of you enough to put the effort in to knit a pair of socks, to think of you when they're at a thrift store, to put together a package, and then to write you a beautiful card to say that they were thinking about you, and then to share the experiences that she was having while she was knitting these socks. It just means the absolute world to me that somebody thinks, I guess, that somebody thinks of me the way I think of others when I knit something for somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. The joy that I get in sharing this craft with other people through the podcast, through the actual knitting of the object, all of it, through, the looking at the patterns and the hunting for the proper yarn and the curating all of the things. So, it just means the world to me that somebody thought of me enough to make these socks. So I have taken them off my feet, but I have worn them a fair bit since Sheila sent them to me, so they're definitely getting love. I would say, if I dare, that I'm definitely knitworthy. These are made from a yarn dyer in St. John's. Her company name is Windswept Fibers. This particular colorway is called Mussels on the Beach. Again, I'm going to hold it back here. Maybe you can see it. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to try to come a little closer so you can see the colors, like the blue, the navy, the orange, cream color. It looks exactly like a Mussels on the Beach look. I've got some family from a place in Newfoundland called Fortune Harbor where there are a lot of mussels. So I absolutely love wearing these. They're cozy, they're wonderful. They have a heel flap and gusset, which I love to wear, but I hate to knit. So I was very, very grateful for that. Yeah, so absolutely love these. I love this yarn. I'm so grateful to Sheila for sending me this beautiful gift. And yeah, just thank you. Thank you to Sheila for this gorgeous, wonderful gift and for thinking about me while you were knitting. And they will definitely get lots and lots of wear. So that's something that I wanted to share. In Twacking. Again, I didn't shop for them, but they were a gift, so they are new to me. I'm going to show you now, I've got a box of some ornaments down here. I'm going to share a little bit of those. Again, I did not purchase these myself. I cannot tell you where they're all from, but my mom and sister-in-law went home to Newfoundland this summer, and Mom came back with a couple of little treats for me. So I will apologize because there's plastic and paper, so I will be rattling. So this one is what's called a small ugly stick, and it's an ugly stick in Newfoundland is it's a bit of a long description. It's an old mop or a broom handle. It's in a rubber boot, and it's got bottle caps on the sides and usually some sort of decoration on the top. And you sort of bang the boot on the floor and you hit it with a stick to make music. So this is an ugly stick. I'm gonna see, I'll take this guy out. There we go. So there's the ugly stick. There's no rubber boot on this one because obviously you can't buy a tiny rubber boot. Let's just put those over here. This one is pretty standard knit stocking or a knit sock, a wood sock. Everybody seems like everybody and their dog in Newfoundland has one of these, has a pair of these. I have several pairs. This one is puffin. So puffin is the Newfoundland, the bird, the tradition, not the traditional bird, whatever, the national bird. What is it? Provincial bird of Newfoundland. So that's the puffin with a little blue toque. Oh, for those that are not Canadian, a toque is a hat, like a wool winter hat. a beanie, a toque. Yeah, but we call it a toque. And then this one might be my favorite. This one is, so, again, I don't exactly know how to describe this, but there is something in Newfoundland called salt beef, and salt beef is quite literally cured and salted beef. It's put in a bucket and then essentially pickled. And then every year, people in Newfoundland use those beef buckets to make Newfie slush. Newfie slush is a recipe where you put a bunch of frozen juices together, and sometimes if you choose, you put alcohol in it and then you drink it. It's absolutely delicious, and it just tastes like Christmas. So this is a salt beef bucket, which says Newfie slush on it. A little small salt beef bucket. I love salt beef. Salt beef is like my favorite thing. It's not good for you, but I mean, who cares? And then I've got this box, which if my memory serves me, I have not shown before, but has a few in here as well. So just give me 1 second. Here's another one. Another thing that is pretty typical for Newfoundland is to put blueberries. So you go picking blueberries, and you put those in your salt beef bucket. Pickled beets. This is called a sou'wester. A sou'wester is a type of hat that fishermen and a lot of people in Newfoundland would wear because it keeps your head dry, and it sort of goes off the back of your jacket so that it doesn't run down your neck. This is a bottle of Screech. Screech is Newfoundland rum. Again, these are not easily, there we go, Newfoundland Screech. I do not drink Screech, but some people do. And if you ever do go to Newfoundland and you're not from there and you get screeched in, that's what you will take a shot of. I'm saying a lot of things that I realize if you're not from Canada or Newfoundland even, you may not know what I'm talking about, but being screeched in is where if you come from the mainland, i.e. not Newfoundland, so if you're from anywhere in the US, anywhere else in the world except Newfoundland, when you go to Newfoundland they will do a ceremony called screeching in, where they will invite you to become an honorary Newfoundlander, and there's a few things that you have to do, and drink a shot of Screech is one of them. Oh, I have 2 Newfie slushes. Another Newfie slush. Sorry for the rattling. This is a great big welly, so a big, pretty much every man, woman, and child in Newfoundland has a pair of these boots. They're great, big, green, heavy Wellington boots, like rubber boots. And that might be it. Yeah, and that's it. So those were gifts from my family from their trip to Newfoundland this summer. And I'm really excited. We don't have our Christmas tree up yet. It's December 5th. I have attempted to put it up, but I'm not strong enough, and I need my husband's help, and he has been sick, so we have not gotten the whole tree put together yet. But as soon as I do, I will be putting those up on there and celebrating with my kids, maybe with a little glass of Newfie slush. Alcohol-free, of course. All right, so Now to Once is where we talk about what I plan to be up to in the upcoming days and weeks. It's pretty obvious in the next 20 days it's Christmas, so I'm going to be preparing for Christmas. I plan to do some baking this year, which I haven't done in previous years. My family and I don't really eat a lot of sweets, and when we do, I don't do it sort of in bulk. I just sort of make a little bit here and there, and then we treat ourselves throughout. But this year I decided that maybe I'll make a couple of things for special little treats for us and for our close family. What else was I planning to do? I feel like I had something on the tip of my tongue. Oh, we need to obviously get our Christmas tree up. As far as knitting and crochet and those things go, I do want to continue to work away on my Granny Square Christmas throw. I plan to look at making a couple more bookmarks. I made some bookmarks in the past. I don't know if I've shared those here. But I would like to get a few of those done so that I can gift those to my book club at my local library. And that's it. I may look at starting a stuffy. I don't know if I've talked about this in the past, but my daughter and son, actually, hold 1 second and I'll show you one of them. My son and daughter both have a ridiculous collection of stuffies. This one is a sloth. He needs a bit of repair. His leg is coming undone. So that's why he's in my knitting room. So my son loves sloths and my daughter loves giraffes. So I have made them, this guy, the sloth, for my son, and I made a giraffe for my daughter. This year they asked me if I would make them a dog. So we have a dog. His name is Sigma. He is a wonderful little pup. He's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but he is hilarious. And I purchased some yarn and a book by Louise Crowther. If I haven't mentioned it before, Louise Crowther has, where is it? This one here is called Knitted Wild Animal Friends. And then there's just the Knitted Animal Friends. So like not sloths and giraffes, but dogs and cats and normal animals. Anyway, so my plan was if I could get one of those done, I might work on getting that done for them for Christmas. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Jiggs and Reels. So Jiggs and Reels are where we talk a little bit about the things that I've been reading, watching, listening to music, all that sort of thing. I cannot even tell you what I've been reading. The last time I spoke to you all in September, I think I just linked my Goodreads. So maybe that's what I'll do from now on, is I'll link my Goodreads account, and if you decide you want to go see what I've been reading, you can feel free. One of the things that stands out as, I guess, the most memorable books that I've been reading so far are The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Absolutely beautiful. I just love the people in it. I love the stories. The murder is not so much the part that I read the books for, although that's cute and fun too, but the characters are, you start to feel like you know them. So I really enjoyed that. I just finished The Impossible Fortune yesterday, so that's book number 5 in the 5 that are out so far. Yeah, so I'll link my Goodreads because there's so many books that I have read in the last little while and some that I still want to read. I think I had a goal of reading 55 books and so far I'm at 80 or 81 for this year. I never thought I'd be able to do 100 books in a year, but who knows? I've still got 25 days, 26 days left of this year, so maybe I will get a few more books in. Let's see. Best Kind. Best Kind in Newfoundland is, again, sort of a catch-all term that means good. That woman is the best kind, that recipe is the best kind. Did you take that vacation? Oh, it was the best kind. The best kind is, it's the best kind of thing. So, best kind is where I talk about things that have warmed up my heart and sort of lifted my soul. A couple of days ago, actually a week ago, I had a CT scan to determine where the cancer has been. If it's developed any further, if it's gone, all that sort of thing. And I got a report a couple of days ago that I have no evidence of disease, which is unbelievable, really great news. And when I read the CT scan, I cried because I was so glad to feel I don't know, like relief, I guess would be the term that I would use. Now, having said all that, there's lots of other things that are going on still. I've developed psoriasis, I've developed psoriatic arthritis, I've got a bunch of other autoimmune issues that are now going on that my body is trying to fight. I had a meeting with my oncology team yesterday, and the plan is to continuously do diagnostic imaging to see if it stays that way. I do have some nodules on my lungs and a couple of other things that we're watching that have so far been stable, knock on wood, and so far so good, but a few things that we're going to watch, and we still want to continue with the immunotherapy. So we talked a little bit about the pros and cons of each. Obviously, doing the immunotherapy versus not doing the immunotherapy. What am I dealing with as far as life expectancy, all that sort of thing. So for now, I'm going to celebrate with, as my radiology oncologist said to me one time, that after a year, you can do a little clap. So I'm at a year and a half now, I think, so I can do like a little bit of a bigger clap, like a medium clap. So we're having a small little celebration with a little medium clap over here to celebrate my recent scan that has no evidence of disease, which I'm very, very, very glad to share with you all. Again, still dealing with all kinds of other stuff, still likely going to be going through treatment, and obviously with this cold or whatever this is, still trying to fight that and take care of the rest of my family as well, because they're all knocked down for the count. But wanted to share the wonderful news and share that how great I feel knowing that. I will say it's terrifying when you're going in to have a conversation with your oncology team about a scan that you've recently had, particularly when I was diagnosed in September and then I had a recurrence in December. So December is kind of like that niggling voice in the back of my head. Like, I'm not always in the clear, and the December dates are the ones that I look forward to, because that's where the recurrences have happened when they've happened. So really excited, glad to share that with you, and yeah, there is no better gift than to hear that you are currently no evidence of disease. So excited to share that with you. And that brings us to the end. I didn't think that I was going to last this long. I didn't think I had that much to talk about, but I did. I talked about all kinds of stuff. I shared more than I actually thought that I was going to be able to, and I only cried a little bit. So I consider that a win. So me and this little guy are going to sign off, and he's going to say, stay where you're to, till I comes where you're at. We'll see you next time. Bye.